Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. You're listening to the Beyond 50 radio program. I'm Daniel Davis. Joining us here on the program today is Marilyn Lawrence. We're going to learn about something known as the 28-Day Sculpting Challenge, which is about utilizing energy magnetism to sculpt the life that you want. She also teaches about how creating a vision that's in line with your highest and greatest good is able to offer a simple magnetic formula of the law of attraction and energy. She helps many to identify triggers that create resistance and stagnant thinking and techniques for letting go of the gunk that is holding you back. She's written many books, and she joins us here on the program today as we talk about the 28-Day Sculpting Challenge. Marilyn, thank you for being on the program today.
Good morning, Daniel. I'm so happy to be with you. Thanks for the invitation.
You bet. Now, what prompted you to create what is known as a 28-Day Sculpting Challenge? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'd love to, but I need to just back up just a tad bit, if you don't mind, Daniel.
No.
And talk about how this, not just this book, but all the books I've written thus far have come to pass. And because I've not always been a writer. This has not always been my career. In fact, I was in a pretty lucrative career before, but I just wasn't happy. You know, people would look at my life and think that I had it all, you know, making money, buying stuff, going places, all what's typical of happiness in some people's eyes, but there was an emptiness in me. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I wasn't on my path. I wasn't making the difference in other people's lives that I came here to make. Because before we enter this life, before any of us enter this life, we fill out a mission statement. You know, we write on our mission statement, here's what we're coming to do. And once we complete our mission statement, we turn it into the committee. The committee looks at our mission statement and determines, first of all, if it's enough, if what we've committed to doing is enough for our soul advancement. And then they determine if now is the right time for us to come and do what we need to do, or if we should wait for different periods of the time. So like right now we're going through a pretty intense time in the world. We turn our mission statement in along with 2 trillion zillion other souls, right? The cool thing to know is we were chosen. Everyone that is living on the earth at this time was chosen to be here because of the importance of the things that they committed to do. It's like having a big divine stamp of approval on our foreheads. That's a pretty amazing thing. And the reason that I wasn't feeling completed or having that deep down satisfaction is because I was off my track. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So I decided to make the simple request. I say God, but whomever people talk to, source. Please help me. Please help me make the difference that I promised I was going to make when I came to this life. Now, Daniel, I have to warn you, when you ask for this request, you have to remember you did, because I made this request and then I went on with my life and kind of forgot about it. And some stuff started happening that reminded me that I'd made this request. But I did remember the request. I received the message. I received messages, as we all do. Many people don't think that they're divine messages because they come in their own voice. But I started receiving the message to start writing. So I did. And I prompt everyone. If someone asks me what's the most important thing to do, I say have faith. Because if you want to do what you're supposed to do here, and you start receiving those messages, don't doubt them. Have faith and act on them. The simplest things make the biggest difference. It's like showing the universe that you're ready to participate in your life again. You're ready to start making the differences that you said you would. So in fact, the 28-Day Sculpting Challenge is my latest published book. So it's not the first, it's the latest. And I had the 5 other books published before this one, And I was thinking I was doing pretty well. I was listening to them. I was doing what they asked me to do. In fact, I not only was writing books, I was asked to go out and do public engagements, seminars, workshops, speaking engagements. Another funny thing, because I dropped beginning speech twice in college because I was afraid to talk in front of people. So when I received the assignment that I was supposed to go out and talk in front of people, I was like, really? That's interesting. But when you do what's in line with your purpose, you will have universal support. It comes naturally for you. I have absolutely zero fear of speaking in front of public because I'm delivering the messages that are in line with my truth of being. And that's what people have to remember is if you are in line with your truth of being, then things will come naturally for you. You will have universal support. But that doesn't mean that we don't make progressions. We take steps forward. We learn new lessons. We are given lessons, and our toughest lessons allow us to take the biggest steps forward. So here I am thinking I'm doing pretty well with these 5 books, going out and talking in front of people and put all those fears, released all of those fears. And then I was given some more lessons, and they weren't feeling good. I was like, boy, what's up with this? Angels. I talk a lot to the angels. Why are you putting me through this? What's going on here? But instead of slipping into that doubt place where we do when stuff starts happening, or fear of what's to come, or lack of any of these kind of stagnant reactions that we have to things. I say stagnant because they keep us in place. For 2 weeks, I was very disciplined with my thoughts. And I said over and over, every time one of those thoughts would sneak in, night and day, everything that's happening to me is for my highest and greatest good. I was very conscious of my thoughts, words, and actions. I didn't allow myself to go back into that place of, oh, darn, what's going to happen next? So after 2 weeks of doing this disciplined action, stuff started coming to me, but it was good. It was better than I had even asked for. I called my husband at work. I said, you can't even believe who just called me. I mean, these amazing things started coming to me. So I said, thank you, angels. Thank you for this. And they said, glad you like it. Now write the book and go teach it. So that's how 28 Day came about, and that's how my progression in life has come into this career.
So what do you think drew you to the genres that you write about?
You know what, I say laughingly, but not really laughingly, that I'm just following directions now. I have been practicing receiving the messages, opening myself up so that I can clearly receive the directions of what I'm supposed to do next. The common thread through most of my books is life purpose, and that's where one of my biggest lessons. I was off my purpose, though my life looked great to others. I wasn't satisfied. So anyone out there that has that kind of emptiness, have a job, lucky to have a job, or have, in other people's eyes, a great job, but you're still not satisfied, then the question that you have to ask of yourself is, am I on my purpose? Am I feeling what I'm supposed to be doing is correct? Most oftentimes when we start making these discoveries, we are a little bit off track. We most times have moved off of our purpose track at the time we're children and onto the track of parents or grandparents or people close to us, not intentionally. We're not intentionally moved off of what we're supposed to do. But it's what the parents know or grandparents know. They just say, well, that's interesting, that's cute that you like that, but why don't you do it this way? So oftentimes it takes us a little bit to get back to who we are, to discover what we're supposed to do. But once you embrace that, I could tell you there's a fullness or a happiness in you like no other. It is this sense that you're doing something that's important, that you came here to do. And the number of people then that are brought to you for you to help will multiply and multiply and multiply. It's been amazing. So the genres I credit not to myself, but to the guidance. I go from children's books to life purpose, romance, an angel book, channeled messages from angels and real life angel stories. So it's 4 different genres that I write in, but I credit it all to the messages and the requests that I receive. Does that make sense, Daniel?
Well, it absolutely does. You always hear about people who, when they feel that they're grooving into their passion, let's say, and it isn't something they think of with their head, it's something where the idea might start there, but it actually becomes expressed through their soul and their heart, is that it feels easy, that it seems effortless. And for many people, that's what scares them, is they don't realize that it's, or, they were never perhaps told that it should be that easy, And so when it is, then maybe they might slip into that thinking that causes them to sabotage the kind of success they're experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's interesting that you use the word easy, because that's what the angels tell me all the time. Everything is easy. It's our overthinking that makes it hard. We could stay in the same place with a thought, overthinking it, and never move forward. Or we could think the thought in our left brain, and we can allow our right brain to take the step forward to make it happen. People say all the time, I've transferred the same goal that I want in my life, the same dream for my life, for the last 5 years in my goal boards. Every year I make a goal board, and I transfer the same goal in my goal board. So I say, okay, let's take a look at what's blocking you, what words, thoughts, or actions are blocking you. Part of that 28 days is we focus, we have this tunnel vision focus on the words that you say, on the thoughts that you think, and the actions that you make. Because every energy, like attracts like, scientific fact, right? Like attracts like. If we are radiating with an energy of nothing is easy, even if we're saying that, we're putting that energy out in words, guess what? Nothing will be easy, because we haven't said to the universe, this isn't easy, please help me make it better. We've just made the statement, nothing's ever easy for me. I guess I could never achieve that. I'm sorry.
No, I totally agree with you. In fact, I was just thinking as you were talking about or describing that, is that, how often, if you started paying attention to your thoughts that you're actually expressing in words, or giving through words the energy that creates the reality. And a lot of times people kind of get caught up, especially in the law of attraction, with the idea, well, this is my intention, this is what I want to see happen for me, but I don't understand why I'm attracting these things that I don't like so much. And you might suggest for them to pay attention to the fact that, well, yes, you are. If you really pay attention, what you're attracting you're attracting all the time. The question is, what are you attracting? And that's what you need to start paying attention to. At least that's what I believe I'm hearing you say.
Absolutely right. In fact, the 28-day Sculpting Challenge is literally 28 days of assignments. And these assignments are based on, of course, what I was asked to write, based on the lessons I was giving, are made to stir some stuff up. Because we often, everyone goes through stuff in life that's not so great. We all have been gifted these experiences so we know what it feels like, so that we can help others. But what we forget to do is forget to learn that that's the reason that we received it. What we do most times is we think, boy, I did something wrong. We take it against ourselves. And then the stuff that's really bad, we bury very deeply in us. So we don't release it, but we bury it, and we don't think about it. So when we go through these assignments with the 28 days, they're meant to stir that stuff up. I hear all the time, I receive at least one email a day now from people that are having these aha moments going through the course. It's amazing. I'm humbled by the emails that I receive. But they think, boy, I thought I got rid of that a long time ago. I can't believe I'm still having that in me. Most people think because they don't think about it, it's gone. But if you have the energy radiating in you, you still have it. And again, simple thing. I'm radiating energy, therefore I'm attracting energy. So this time, when we think about that situation, parent stuff, when we were young, peer things, when we think about it, let's separate the lesson and the emotional trigger of the situation. And let's get rid of the emotional trigger. Let's just hold on to the lesson. Yeah, that wasn't a great thing, but let's make it neutral. When we are neutral to something, then it won't have a trigger for you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So we do that. We go through, and I have been gifted the ability to do healings. I have a vision with my third eye, and I can look at a person's image, and I can find their hiding places where they hide some of the things in their physical. So, and sometimes when I find it, it's been in there so long that it's actually turned from a stewing emotion to a physical ailment. So we, angels and I, go in and we do some healing on those areas, but we also remove them. And this is something that anyone can do. There's a number of different release techniques that I teach to release these. And once people realize, man, I guess I didn't release that. I stopped thinking about it. I tucked it away in a hiding spot, but I'm still carrying it. Therefore, like I talk to women all the time about a bad relationship. I just keep attracting the wrong men. I hear that so often. And so I say, okay, first of all, let's stop saying that because we don't want to keep sending that out to the universe. And let's reverse that or make a simple shift in that by saying, I am attracting everyone I need to in my life. Everything that's happening to me is for my highest and greatest good. Part of the assignments for the 28-day are, first thing, we make a goal board, a new goal board, based on the truth of what is in alignment with you. And then we make I ams on Post-it notes. In fact, that's one of my next books I'm writing now, are I am affirmations. But an I am on a Post-it note is a simple, brilliant tool, because I am, you probably know this, Daniel, I am is part of God, right? I am that I am is part of God. And so if we write on a Post-it note for using that example I just said, I am attracting everyone that I need in my life. I am attracting the perfect relationship. And write these. If you could see my office, you would understand the importance of it. I have wallpapered Post-it notes, and they will change as I, go through different things. But once your hand puts that I am and writes it on the paper, you are committing yourself to a shift. Your eye will glance over that. You don't really have to read it again, but your eye moving over that, your mind already has the memory of what you wrote. So every time you do that, it's instilling that in you again. It's defining more and more and more of what your life is and pushing out what you don't want.
That certainly makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure that you've helped people develop profound change when they become self-aware of just what kind of energy they're putting out there, even if their intentions, are good and pure and all that. You can also find yourself, as you said earlier, being triggered by what seem to be negative circumstances and then kind of replaying an old tape, if you will. Pretty amazing stuff. I was curious. Now, can people find you online? And if so, I'm sure you conduct workshops. How can they find out what your schedule of those things are?
Absolutely. I have a personal website, MarilynLawrence.com. Easy, Marilyn, MarilynLawrence, MarilynLawrence.com. And also 28daysculptingchallenge.com. So the name of the course has its own website as well.
Now, if you could, for our listeners, maybe give us 2 examples of an exercise maybe they can take away right now where they can kind of really get a feel about your work to a degree that they might even be interested in taking on the 28-day sculpting challenge.
Thank you, Daniel. I was hoping that you would ask that because I have actually 3 different things I wanted to share today, if that's all right. The first is on day 4. Day 4, we address being too busy. It is the truth that we have less time. We have less time. The earth is moving faster, there is less time. And not only that, but we are piling more and more into the less time that we have. So being too busy is a reality. Everyone is busy. However, when we want to make a shift in our life, when we want to call in the purposes, when we want to stop, let's say that we're tired of our job and we want to call in a new job, but I'm just too busy to look for another job, we have to be very conscious of not putting ourselves or saying we're too busy. Because when we say we're too busy, we're sending that out to the universe, and all the universe is hearing is she's too or he's too busy right now. We can't bring more to them. Right? So we are literally telling the universe that we do want other stuff, but we're really too busy right now to take on anything else. So we need to say, yes, I am busy. I'm beautifully busy. I am the busyness that I deserve. I'm not too busy to call in those things that I desire. So we need to make these simple shifts. And too busy is one that I run into all the time. Everyone is talking about too busy. I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I can't make that. I can't go to that meeting, or I'm too busy to even think about adding anything more to my life. You know, everyone's in this lack of time thought. Now, switching that is not going to add any more time to your day. But let's face it, the most successful people in the world have the exact same amount of time as we do. It is the usage of that time that makes the difference. So we become consciously aware of the time that we've been gifted. Every day we're gifted another day. We become consciously aware of the time that we've been gifted, and then we can make a difference with that time. We could say, I am busy, but not too busy to help these people or to do what I said that I was going to do. And I don't want people to get too caught up in I receive these emails, well, I just can't remember what my purpose is, and I feel like I need to be doing something, but what's my purpose? Well, ask for it. Then remember, of course, that you asked for it, so you don't get those lessons, knocks on the side of the head. And then just do something. Most often the things that people put on their goal boards, the things that people really desire for their life, are in line with their purposes, or else they wouldn't be drawn to them. So if you feel good about something, then do it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So being too busy, that's a huge thing that we work on, and we need to counterbalance that and reverse the thought of eliminating anything new coming to us, to say, yes, I am not too busy to receive that I wish for. I'm not too busy ever to do the things that I said that I would be doing on my mission statement. It's a really important thing. We also work on the confidence, because most of us will beat ourselves up pretty badly. Most of us could make a list of 10 things pretty quickly of what we don't like about ourselves, but we'll struggle making a list of 10 things that we like about ourselves. So we work a lot on our vision of ourselves and letting go of those limitations that were placed on us oftentimes when we were young, letting go of the thoughts that were given to us by listening to others, or some of the comments on the playgrounds by kids. We hold on to that, unfortunately. There's a movie, do you know the movie Pretty Woman?
Yes, very familiar with it.
Yes, love that movie. But there's a line in there that I really like. And she said, sometimes it's always easier to hold on to the bad stuff that people say than allow the good stuff to come in. And it's so true. We seem to hold on to the bad stuff And that so we have to do some revitalization to ourselves. Get back to the beauty that we are. We're a beautiful soul. I mean, we've got this divine stamp of approval on our forehead. We came here for a multitude of different reasons. We wouldn't have been allowed to come to this life if we didn't have importance. Let's give ourselves permission to live in our importance again. Let's give ourselves permission to be that beautiful child, to reconnect with our beautiful child. In fact, that leads me into a little exercise that I wanted to do, if that's all right.
Absolutely. We got a couple of minutes.
Perfect. So what I do in a lot of the seminars is I do guided meditations. And I want to give you an example of a guided meditation, and it goes in line with getting back to ourselves. All right? So if the listeners would indulge me and close their eyes if they're comfortable, but get in a very comfortable, almost meditative state and follow along. We are going to be walking up to this great, big, huge, heavy door. So in your mind's eye, if you're able to visualize this big, heavy door, or think or believe that there's this big, heavy door we're walking up to. And now I want you to place your hand on the doorknob. Grab hold of that. And I want you to push the door open. Now, this might take some effort to push this door open, or it might open readily. Inside of this door is you. It is your truth of being. It's your child self. It's the seed of you. I'd like you to walk into this room now. Walk in to you. You're completely surrounded by you. There you are. Can you see yourself? How do you look? Now I want you to imagine how shiny you are, your soul's light. We all have a flame, our soul's light, the light of us, right? I want you to picture your soul's light. It's there in the room with you. I want you to immerse yourself in your soul's light. When you immerse yourself in your soul's light, you are connecting with the truth of you. You are connecting with you again. Your soul's light will become huge because you are making the conscious act of aligning yourself with yourself again. You are aligning yourself with your child self. You're aligning yourself with the seed of your soul, the true beginning of you. As you are going through this reunited stage, I want you to feel it. How good does it feel? How much love do you have now for yourself? If it's difficult to find love for yourself, then I want you to ask the angels to come in and show you what that feels like, love of yourself, until you can remember it. Pull this in. Bring it in. Immerse yourself in yourself. Join your own team again. Many of us will listen to the words of others for so long that we actually join their team and we walk away from our team. We start believing what others say or the truths of others, and we abandon ourselves. But today, you have permission to move back into your own team, to cross that line in the sand and join yourself again, to put your shoulders back and remember how beautiful you are, the truth of you, the shining light that you are. We could walk into a grocery store and not even speak to someone, but our light is going to shine so brightly that we will help them. Feel this. Feel this amazing beauty of the gift of you. Ask that your missions from your statement be realigned with you. Ask that you be shown or told what your missions are. When you ask this, they will come to you. They will either come through the radio, you'll drive by a billboard and you'll get a message, but receive these messages, because once you ask for it, they will be delivered to you. So receive them. No more doubting. No more, oh, that's just a coincidence that I turned on the radio and it's answering the question I just was thinking. No more, oh, that's a coincidence that the billboard just is relating to what I was thinking. Receive the messages, because the more you start receiving, the more you will be giving, because the universe will understand you're ready.
Wow. I can see how something like that can actually help people.
It's so amazingly powerful to reunite yourself with yourself, to start loving yourself again, the truth of you again.
Absolutely. This is amazing. I think people will actually get a lot out of this. If they can find out more, they can go to your website, they can find out what your workshop schedule is, or they can probably even do it virtually as well. For our listeners, go ahead and give out that website one more time.
Certainly. It's MarilynLawrence.com, Marilyn, MarilynLawrence, MarilynLawrence.com, and 28day SculptingChallenge.com.
Well, very good. Marilyn, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your message with the world. It's always inspiring to know that once we decide that we are the divine light and that we're all here for a very special purpose, and it's a matter of enjoying the mystery of life to discover what that is and to be able to embrace it and then share it with others. Because once you do, you'll have so much abundance that will feel like that you have no other choice but to share it with the world, and for that you become richly rewarded. It's very exciting work. Thank you so much for sharing it with our listeners today.
Absolutely, Daniel. Thank you for inviting me. It's been my pleasure to share.
Absolutely. Thank you again. We want to thank you, the listeners out there, for tuning in. Again, you can share more about yourself by signing up for our weekly e-newsletter and keeping up to date with what's going on here at the Beyond 50 radio program. You can also discover more. Visit us at Twitter at Beyond 50 Radio, as well as Facebook. I'm Daniel Davis. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Beyond 50 radio program, and remember, live your day past halfway.